Welcome to the Interview Podcast, the voice of Inter-CT. Welcome to episode 3 of the Interview Podcast. And I'm here in Milford, as I was last week. But this one is our community camp here in Milford, where we have quite a few Inter players. And we're just at the top of a hill here. Oh, just watching a spectacular game. What are you doing? Say the kids who had missed a chance. But I'm here with Stephen Bell, the director for the Inter-CT Union. How you doing, Steve?
Very good, thank you, Leon, and everybody else listening to that. And the what are you doing is because a player took a shot from an angle that he had no business shooting from and should have crossed. So that was what the what are you doing calls were from.
I love that the kids are holding each other accountable here. There's a knowledge there and an understanding. It's like, back in 2005, you know, that the knowledge for that wasn't around, but it's good to see the kids do that. But we digress, as often I do here. Stephen, talk to us. What's going on here?
So we are having, in Milford, we've had 3 camps run this summer, and they're obviously Inter-CT sponsored and run, but they're open to anyone, all ages, levels and abilities. And obviously then we break the camp down by age groups, sometimes genders, sometimes abilities, or basically we make sure kids are in the right environment. But obviously the goal of these camps we've been running is obviously number one, we want the players to enjoy the week, have to do that at any level, and enjoy the game of soccer, because like I said, we've got players here, some are at different levels, so we want to make sure we're challenging them so they get the most out of it. So the players that are at that premier level, how do we keep them challenged? We've got some players here that are travel level and want to aspire to get to that next level. So how do we push them and develop them? And then, like I said, we've got players here that are just here for fun and want to improve and enjoy the process. So like I said, we had a really good turnout. Like I said, we got close to 80 players on this camp. We had one in July, there was about 50 players, and we did one in June, and there was again about another 60-70 players. So it's been a really good turnout. And even though we're in Milford, it's not just Milford players. We've got players here from the Orange area, Shelton, obviously Milford. We've got some Stratford players here. I see some West Haven. Like I said, so we've got players coming from all different areas, which is great. And one emphasis we've made sure we've put on is the social elements. And obviously when they have their break times and stuff, we've been doing little challenges, and we've been making sure that, like I said, the social part of it, players are engaging with new people, new players that they don't know. We want to make sure no one's left on their own. So like I said, all round this has been geared to making sure that players have a good time and obviously are developing as soccer players as well. So it's been a good success. And shout out to the coaches. Like I said, we've got some very experienced coaches on camp, such as Coach Pedro, Joel, Caitlin, and then some of our younger coaches that are college players and are learning the game, the coaching side of the game, and some really talented coaches as well.
Yeah, it's great environment as I've got here. I know we've got the pop-up goals and the cones, and some familiar faces with the coaches, definitely. Caitlin as well is here, who does the Milford work with us through Inter. But I guess, Stephen, I got you here not only just for the camps, but just to talk about the Inter-CT Union and what it is, and how traditionally we took over the Milford program, and more for the need to keep players in Milford, and how that's now evolved into Inter-CT Union, especially with some of your Shelton history as well.
Yeah, so exciting times. He's back, as they say. No, like I said, it's been obviously, Inter-CT Union, as we're called this year, which has obviously been, we've unofficially been called Inter-CT Milford the last couple of years since we started our partnership with Milford, which has grown from strength to strength. And obviously now we have the opportunity, we as well as our partnership with Milford United, we have a partnership with Shelton Youth Soccer, which basically means that On the grassroots side of things, the town level stuff, the travel stuff, the in-house recreation, Inter-CT are providing staff to those communities. And then on top of that, we have our Inter-CT Union program, which is the premier program of it, which for players that are at that level, alongside playing for their town programs, which we fully support, and we encourage players to play within the town programs as well. They can get that extra level of training and gameplay through Inter-CT or Inter-CT Union, and to play at that premier level. And obviously we've got, naturally with our partnerships, a big a lot of Shelton based and Milford based players, but along with that as well, it's not just open to players from those towns. We've got a lot of players again from the Orange Amity area. We've got quite a few West Haven and Stratford players as well. And what I think is great is that we've been able to put together some really strong teams for this upcoming season. But on top of that, and we've seen it already with some of our summer training and a lot of the kids that are on camp, a really good environment as well. I think that's, when you look across the premier soccer landscape, or just the soccer landscape in general, the clubs that are successful are the ones that have a good environment. It's not just about coming to practice and games and doing the job and leaving. It's about what is there beyond that as well, such as camps. We've got a lot of social events going on. Obviously, as a club, this past season they had the banquet, stuff like that. And I think the club as a whole, Inter-CT Union, which is part of Inter-CT, is just a great club to be around at the moment. And obviously the Inter-CT Union, although it's kind of new, I think is a fantastic branch for the Inter-CT Inter-CT program in general. So yeah, we're excited. Got a really good coaching staff as well. This year, obviously myself, Coach Pedro, Coach Joel. We've got Coach Brian with us now, Coach Schindler, Coach Joe, and obviously Coach Caitlin as well. So we got, on the Inter-CT Union side of things, coaching these teams. I'm really excited to see how these players develop and enjoy the experience.
Yeah, of course, Shelton used to have, above travel, they used to have Premier. Correct. As well. Yeah. But with the numbers that we have now, we're really looking to take that to the next level, and obviously provide greater opportunities as well, because it's not only do they have the Milford, Shelton, Amity, that Inter-CT Union, there's a level above that as well with the regional play and Zone 1.
Correct. And like I said, and just again, as Leon said, Shelton, Milford never had a premier strand to their program. Shelton did, and obviously we started our Milford Inter program a couple of years ago, and now with the Shelton partnership, it didn't make sense to have a separate Inter program in Shelton and Milford, because the towns are next to each other. Hence the Inter-CT Union growth, and enables us to put that level of talent, which, especially in these towns, that the level of soccer play is really high, and allow us to become a very competitive program. But as Leon also said, that we've got the regional side of things, or as I know we're just having that, we've got the girls tryouts coming up this Friday, and I'm really excited to see how that goes. Obviously that's in partnership or in tandem with the Norwalk program, the Litchfield program as well, and so we're going to be selecting what we feel the highest level players from all of those programs, which again, not a lot of programs in the state are doing that, and I think that gives us another really positive element to our overall club.
Yes, I think it's all about experiences as well. Not only are we teaching life lessons here, but we're providing experiences. So when they're your age and we're sat down, Stephen, we're talking about stuff that happened when we were kids. Yep. We were, tours and whatnot. And of course we have the tours, we have the sleepover camps, and obviously some of these other things.
Just on that note, just watching our U12-13 scrimmages right now, and I've just seen Sawyer smashed the winning goal in, posting in, who I believe brought home a trophy from the Hershey tournament with the regional team this past weekend. Told me he played CDM all weekend but scored 6 goals and 5 assists, so not bad for a CDM.
Not bad at all.
Yeah.
Now I see here they're looking to wrap up. So Steve, that's our cue, I think. But
I believe so.
what's I know we got a big staff event tonight with the first aid and getting all our staff up to speed with that, making sure. I know a lot of them are high school and college coaches and have that already, but we are just doing the first aid stuff, myself included, with Annie the mannequin. But what are your hopes for the season here, Steve?
For me, again, I said it earlier, making sure that the players have a good experience, especially as this is what is it's essentially a newer program. I want the players to immediately feel comfortable in that environment, enjoy the process. So when we have this conversation next year, we're having another very positive conversation, and we can have similar interviews with players about their experience, and hopefully have had a positive year. So the environment, number one, and two, obviously, we want to be competitive, right? As well as it all being fun and developing players, which it is. Players enjoy the process when they're competitive on the field. So we want to make sure that we're building competitive teams and they're competing. It doesn't mean necessarily winning every game, because that's not going to happen at any level. But we want to make sure that players are in that competitive environment, whether that be practices and games, and developing as individuals and as a team. So, really looking forward to it. Exciting times ahead for Inter-CT or Inter-CT Union.
Brilliant. Thanks, Steve. And I'll see you on the field very short. I'll see you at first aid later on tonight.
Absolutely.
Thanks, mate. Bye-bye.
Cheers, mate.
I'm joined now by a familiar face, Joe Law. How you doing, Joel?
Good, thanks. How are you?
Good. Just finished camp. It's amazing. Bit of peace and quiet here. And
After a hectic day one.
how was it for your camp?
It was good. A lot of fun. Had for the middle group for me, so I had like 2013, 2014. I stayed with the girls, and then Coach Jay had the boys, but we kind of merged them together as the middle age group, and it was a lot of fun. So worked on kind of attacking movement off the ball and on the ball, as well as a little bit of possession work as well. So very fun.
Happy days. And for those of you that don't know, Joel is, like I said, a familiar face. Talk to me about your background, mate. When you started off, it's kind of full circle for you, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much done a full 360. Came out first in 2016 with Youth Elite Soccer, which is now Community Athletic Solutions, who originally staffed the Shelton programme. So came out as a Shelton coach full-time with them for maybe 2 or 3 years, and then ended up in school over here as well. So did 2 years at Housatonic, now I'm at Post University up in Waterbury, and from there transitioned into taking a year of OPT into Connecticut, and did a little bit in the background for them, so some more on the business side of the program. A year in Norwalk, which was a good experience for me with very high quality players, and then transitioned to Milford, where it's a little bit closer to me as I live in Shelton, and then going full 360 now that Inter-Union has merged Milford and Shelton. Now I'm coaching a lot of the players that I started off coaching in my first year or two at America in 2016. So now those U6, U7s, rec players at a very young age in League One at Shelton, I'm now coaching them on the Premier side of things at Inter-Union, which is good.
That must be nice for you then, Joel, just to see some of those players and how they progress, not only soccer-wise, but personality-wise as well.
Oh yeah, there's some personalities in there, definitely. But again, that's fun. And it's been great to see how much they've progressed with other coaches as well. So obviously having a good coach is pretty important, but I think it's more the environment, enjoying it, and like you say, having good personalities on the team, and the team's always going to grow to a good level.
So as we move forward, you're going to be coaching some, obviously in Milford, you're going to be doing a bit of Shelton as well. And tell me, how's it been just to see some of these kids again? I know we've talked about your personalities and whatnot, but as we move forward, what are you looking forward to most really with seeing some of these kids, especially from a competitive point of view?
Yeah, I think that kind of hits it. The challenge for them, as a lot of these players now at Inter-Union are those select top group on the travel teams at Shelton and Milford respectively, and now they're challenging and competing for places with the two teams merged. So obviously Inter-Union, the union of Shelton and Milford is going to bring the best of those two teams together. And obviously there's going to be a lot of competition for places there at each age group. And then you obviously have the USL stuff, the feeder stuff, and the Zone 1, which is starting to be on the girls' side as well, which is going to be exciting. So now you've got the best of Shelton Milford competing for positions and starting places in the inter-union side, and then the inter-union players, the best of those, then compete against other inter-teams like the Norwalk branch, the Lichfield branch. So yeah, very excited to see the competition as it goes through the different stages of the club.
Where would you say, controversial question here, where would you say some of these Shelton players, Milford players and Norwalk players stand with regards to when it comes to seeing those? And obviously I'm asking you that rather than Lichfield, because you've seen those, the three down here. How do you think they stand if with regards to like this super team?
Yeah, I think my experience in Norwalk was more in the 2013s, and I think comparing those to the 13s that we didn't actually have in Milford, but we had a lot of 13s playing up on the 12s last year, and then seeing a lot of those 13s over the summer, I'd say Norwalk is probably slightly stronger on the boys' side, so the elite level, they probably would be more predominant in those teams. But I think now that there's more competition for places at the union side, I think you'll see a lot of development, and hopefully with the aim of that merger is for them to start competing and almost go 50-50 with Norwalk and try and compete at that same level. The good thing is, and one of the benefits of the union now is, like you said, where you didn't have a 2013s last year, with the numbers now we're able to create that team. Yeah, now we have teams where we didn't have ages, or ages where we didn't have teams last year, and now where we had one team last year, we have two. So again, that competition for places is becoming more and more important. And yeah, it's just great to have a team at every age group now, from 2011 down to the 2016 pretty much.
Brilliant. And away from soccer, I know you said earlier that you're at school. How's that going? And are you able to juggle school and coaching, and does it all fit? What is it actually that you're studying?
So I am doing business administration with a minor in accounting as well, which when I took a couple of accounting classes, didn't think I would like it, did, and now I'm kind of tailing off it a little bit. But on the business administration side, I kind of like the finances, so I think going into like a wealth management, financial planning kind of role could be something which I have one potential lineup at the moment, which I'm looking forward to kind of hearing more about and hopefully progressing that as a career. But on a balance for school and soccer, it's worked out pretty well so far, fingers crossed. Got a good GPA of, I think it's around about 3.9, so I'm very happy with that considering where I was at 10 years ago in high school back in England. But yeah, the balance is pretty good. Do most of my schoolwork through the days, come and coach, and then go to bed, and then repeat that pretty much every day of the week.
Brilliant. And for those of you that don't know, Joel will be getting married later. Is it this year? Or?
Next year, 2024.
Good.
Mind blank there.
Yeah.
18th of October.
From an accountant, didn't know his numbers, but go ahead and tell us then.
That's why I'm not doing it anymore.
Just for the audience, and I know you've made this very clear, you just want one thing at your wedding, apart from your future wife being there. What's the one thing that you want?
Number one is her being there, but number two, slightly behind, is that I want it keeps growing. I'm at about a 20-foot nacho bar with all the different toppings as you go along. And there's going to be like a couple of feet of chicken, couple of feet of chili, and just kind of all the toppings, all the fixings. That's the one thing that I want at the wedding.
There we go, guys. Don't give up on your dreams. That's Joel's dream, Joel's dream right there. But I'll let you go, Joel, because camp's done. Let's get some lunch and see you on the field.
All right, guys. So I've got Patrick on our 2010 RL team, and I've also got PJ, who's from our 2012 RL team. I'm talking to these guys today because you boys just got back from where? Hershey. Okay, PJ, how did you guys get on at Hershey?
I think we played really well together. Our teamwork was definitely working, and we pushed, and we ended up winning.
Good, you ended up winning. What about yours, Pat?
I think our team, the U14 team, we played really well. We played it the way we wanted to play, and we dominated every game, and we kept the ball, and we kept possession, and we beat every team by 5 goals.
Nice. Yeah, same with us.
Nice. So as part of our partnership with AC Connecticut, we have a program called the USL Academy, and both of these boys were selected to take part. It was PJ's first time taking part, and Pat, you've been doing it for, what, a good year, 2 years? So, PJ, what did you like about the USL experience? Did you like the level of it? Did you like playing with other people? What did you like best?
Yeah, I really liked the level of it. The coaching was really good. I liked the way they coached us, and it definitely helped us throughout the tournament.
Perfect, good. So, Pat, your experience has been slightly different, right? You've done Hershey twice. Yeah. You've done, what other tournaments have you done?
I did the Boston one and the Juventus one, I think. And then we also did the Tampa one. So yeah.
Tell me more about the Tampa one.
The Tampa one was definitely the hardest tournament out of all of the tournaments I've done with USL, because we were in the highest bracket or like division, and it really tested like AC and Inter's like players, like their experience, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. So basically, the tournament that Patrick's referring to is the USL Championship Academy Cup, and that happens every March, and we have to take our U13s, our U15s, and our U19s. All right, so Patrick was there in March of this year, 2023, playing there, and like Flinny said, we was competing in the top bracket. We did really well, and it was a mixture of our AC Connecticut group and also our Inter-Connecticut group, so some good players there. And now moving forward, Patrick's group's going to be slightly different. He's going to be able to do weekly practices and weekly games as part of the ECNL, if selected. If selected. Okay. And then PJ's journey is going to be slightly different as well, because he's going to do monthly practices, if selected. And then we can do tournaments off the back of that. Okay. So one thing I like about the USL, do you boys know how we base who we pick?
So whenever you play AC and with Inter, that's usually like the main part of how you get selected. If you play well, then there's a good chance. Well,
good. So that's one, because that also allows AC Connecticut an opportunity to see our guys and vice versa. But another one is done based on performance. Okay, so we have our first practice in September. So when might be an opportunity for you guys to impress, to be selected again for the next one? What do you think?
Every practice.
Every practice. Good. Pre-season camp. In here now. Can you impress Coach Amadi? Okay. Can you impress the Coach Colin? Can you impress some of the high school coaches that we have here helping out? And then if you guys start impressing, what might that do to everyone else?
They might follow.
Yeah, they might follow. And then is that going to make everyone better?
Yes.
Cool. All right. So that was a little update from Patrick and PJ, who both did the Hershey tournament, both won it. And one of the fun things about the Hershey tournament, when you win, what do you get? A massive chocolate bar, and neither of them brought them to Coach Tom at the camp today. So both of them might have to figure out a way to be selected for the next one. Coach Anthony Stoley, who also doesn't like chocolate. All right. Thank you, guys. And you guys can go and carry on with Coach Amadi for your practice.